Welcome to another episode of Ankle Sore and North Club Corner.
So join in the chorus.
Vito,
Angelo.
paint the picture of what you saw.
Shane Healy.
Of what you saw on Saturday
Mate,
afternoon.
let me tell you something. And I'm being insipid. Mate, you know what that was? I'll tell you what that was on Saturday afternoon. It was one step forward last week. Beat Carlton. I know Carlton, they're a mess. But it was one step forward for a side who's been struggling for 5-6 years. And then they come up and they deliver that rubbish. Are you serious? That game was over the minute Josh Simpkin gave away a free kick to that little...
Yeah, that
wizard
first
there,
2 seconds
right?
of the game.
I knew straight away. They kicked the first 3 goals or the first couple and I think North answered. And then they got to 5 goals in a hurry and I thought, the writing's on the wall. It's going to be another walloping, right?
He had 4 possessions till half-time, Simpkin.
He was poor. Poor. Weak efforts. What did you think in the contest? What did you think of him in the contest?
They were whacked in the contest. They were absolutely slaughtered. And I'm not talking about personnel because North's personnel head-to-head was okay versus their head-to-head. Even Sherry got beat by Meek.
Can you believe
all got beat.
He got walloped.
But it was also the weak performances by the mids not helping defensively.
Oh.
And we'll go into the forwards too.
Oh, I tell you what.
They were just...
Midfield pressure was as bad as I said. No, I'm sick of it. LDU. I'm going to bring up the same one. Simpkin, Wardlaw, as much as I've defended him. I know he got concussion. Powell plays one good game and everyone's singing his praises. Where was he? Nowhere to be seen. Intensity was never up. It was all the whole game. It was down.
Yep.
Hawthorn were just prancing around doing as they like. I'm sick of it.
But they were allowed to do that.
That's right.
They were allowed to do that.
Exactly.
That game, that should have been 100 points, 120 points.
To be honest,
I'm very lucky.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I know people are going to be in the comments, no, I don't care if you have a bad game, mate. You can have a bad game, or you can have a crack and lose by 4 goals in Tasmania, and you go, you know what, we're on the up. We're on the up.
Yeah.
Mate, you all said to me during the week, oh, you'll be all right. Smashed again. And you know what I feel sorry for? Those back 6, mate. Because there was no pressure from the forwards. Paul Curtis is the only one trying to hold them. Nick Larkey, I know he kicked 5, I don't care. As soon as it didn't go his way, done. Zerhart, nowhere to be seen.
Well, why couldn't they put Zerhar in the middle for a little bit?
Yeah.
Has he not got on the edge? And clearly he hasn't.
Break it up, put him in the middle. So as I was saying, midfield, as we've just spoken about. So what do you think is going to happen to that back line? No Combin down there, mind you, to take those intercepts. Right. So they got Logue, McDonald, Dawson, who's played, a game or 2?
Had one good spoil.
Right. I got bombarded, mate, Angelo. I'm sick of it.
But I'm going to compound that because you're right about the midfield. But the forward half, not keeping the footy in.
That's what I was saying.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about mids. But 2 weeks ago, they had 27 forward 50 tackles against Fremantle.
Correct.
Single digits this week.
That's bad. Bad.
And that kills you because it puts everyone under pressure going back the other way.
Yeah, correct. So like I said, the ball's rapidly going into their forward line.
Yeah.
Every 2 seconds.
Yep.
So I can see at some stage there was Logue, these blokes, they're just trying to get the contest.
Yeah.
Did you see, I don't know if you see, behind the goal vision, mate, Shoal running around on their own because they're just a mess. It was a mess.
It was disorganised.
They didn't have time to systemise themselves, nothing.
But it happened the whole game.
No physicality. What happened to that hardness? They started to show some hardness.
They had it last week.
No physicality. It was all too hard. Same old story. We'll give it up. Throw it away.
So it has to be scrutinised because some people are saying, oh, well, we had a really good 8 weeks. And I get that.
Oh, give me a spell.
But you've got to scrutinise the bad losses.
Okay. I'm going to say one thing. I don't care. I know your mate sits there and he knows I don't like this bloke. How does no one go through Watson? How does someone, and when I say go through him, not unfairly, Angela, I'm not saying go and put him in hospital. I'm not being an idiot. How can you not go, you know what, you want to be smart, mate. No worries. The next contest, buddy, you're going to know about it, and we'll see if you lift your finger up and run around with your finger in the air next contest, mate. Because let me tell you, there'll be a shirt front of all shirt fronts that'll put that bloke, his eyes will go the other way around if I was playing. I'm telling you, mate. I'm sick of it.
Don't know if it works anymore like that, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fair hits, mate. You can still give a fair hit, mate, without going high. Make him know. Let him know. Gunston kicked 7 goals, mate.
There's another one.
Joking me? This bloke's washed up. He's finished.
Career best.
Yeah, you're
Was
right.
his career best.
6 was his best.
Yep.
And they made sure that he got his 7 goal, kicking it to him every minute. That's embarrassing, North. That is so embarrassing.
So what about the ball use then?
Ball use? Okay. I put these stats together because I wanted to see how many touches these so-called superstars got.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players.
So I'm going to name them: LDU, McKercher, Parker, Daniel Sheasel. Before I go on, Parker, I'm not really having a crack at because he tried his guts out. LDU, yeah, he tried his guts out, but he's just dumb. 137 possessions between
25.
those blokes.
What's that average out to be?
So between the 5 of them, 24, something like that, around there anyway, right? Or maybe a bit less. Anyway, around
Wasted
that.
the footy.
Exactly my point. So average at best was the efficiency. In fact, at times it was quite poor. Actually, and Lucky did well because he kicked 5 goals.
Yeah, well, he kicked 5.
He made the most of his opportunities. He still doesn't work hard enough for me. I know he worked up the ground early to get some ball. I get all that. But again, when the ball hits the ground, he has got to
Hasn't
be
changed.
He's got to be better.
Yeah,
He's
hasn't
got to be
changed.
better. Right? So what I'm saying is, our just sticking on them balls for a second. What do you think of that? 137 odd possessions between them, and we lose by 85 points. What is that telling you?
Well, their efficiency's poor.
Okay, one. But secondly, Hawthorn's pressure.
Yeah, 24 possessions, but you could have 22 of them which are
That's
under
what I was
pressure.
getting at. That's what I was getting at.
Like that's what it was.
Not working hard enough. It was all too hard. From the first quarter, I said, this is all too hard. Kill on the rack. That's all right. We're developing. We are just starting to get better again. So
Do you
that's
think it was
okay.
all too hard for him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It made me sick. It made me sick in the
What
stomach.
about at 3/4 time last week when they went in and 0-0 in the last quarter? Was there anything into that?
Yeah. And
Can you
and
read
moved
into
over,
that?
moved over
Yeah.
to the next week. What did they say? You're as good as your last quarter? Is that right? Well, there's your answer.
So do you think that basically it was too hard? We got Hawthorn. We had a good win. Do you reckon it was that attitude?
Oh, no, not the attitude. As soon as the first quarter happened, it was all too hard. Watson running around doing as he liked. Ginnivan's running his finger around.
Chol
Chol looked like Wayne Carey. He looked like Wayne Carey. Oh, incredible.
What about talk to me about
There's an
Wardlaw.
elephant in the room with the bloke.
Yep.
George Wardlaw. I've defended him, and you know how much I love him. He's one of my favourites. He's had 3 concussions in 30-odd games.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Oh, there's a real question mark on his health.
Now,
Anyone has 3 concussions in 30 games.
and the
is a
AFL, how
question mark.
serious do they take this concussion thing these days?
Absolutely
Because they're worried
serious.
about down the track. You
You
know.
will hear this is. I'm only just thinking. I'm only just expecting this.
Yep.
But go and buy the same patterns of other players with concussions.
He won't play the rest.
He
of
won't
this year.
play the rest of the year.
Yeah,
now.
I'm with you. I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
And boy, you haven't spoken about this, so it's not like we're just making it. We're making this up now. Like,
Yep.
I agree.
You couldn't fathom him playing again. And
what
having
for?
another. You need 6 months off now.
So he's not going to play. And my question to you is his career? And I don't mean. I know it sounds a bit harsh, and people are going to go, "Oh, what do you mean?" I'm just saying, how many more concussions
That's exactly
can you
right.
have? Can you
That's
have?
exactly right. How many more can you have?
I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, another concussion or 2, and he's in trouble. Now, my question to you,
2. He's had 3.
Yeah, I know.
One more.
yeah,
He's-
he could be in trouble. Now,
Look, we saw Brayshaw, and I don't know how many concussions he had.
Yeah, I don't know if Tommy
walk
had.
away from the game. You know, Liam Pickett walked away from the game.
that's true. That's
Not
true.
that he walked away from the game, but doctor's advice: you can't play anymore.
So that's a question mark. I don't know.
Yep.
Now, few players in for scans.
We've got, I believe, 6. Is that right?
Sheasel.
Luke McDonald.
Yeah.
Can I bring it up?
Yeah, please do.
It was Sheasel, Luke McDonald. Where we got it? Okay, so 6 players sent in for scans. Harry Sheasel, Luke McDonald, Flynn O'Sullivan on his calf, Parker for a knock to his body, it says. Fisher was sent for scans on hamstring niggles and Wardlaw. So over on a short break, there's got to be question marks on
Not all
those
of them.
players.
Not all of them. I think some of them will play. Some of them might not.
Yep.
But I think your Sheasel, Parker, maybe the 3 or 4 main
Yep.
ones will play. Maybe a Finn will play, I think. But again, and now you've got a disgruntled player, I'm led to believe.
Well, it comes up in social media, and Joe Montana on First Crack mentioned that Dersma's unhappy with the club, and the club's probably not in love with him. And that probably explains why he's not getting a game. Will they move him on?
I've defended him, But you can't. I know he kicks 3 or 4 goals in reserves. I don't care about the reserves. I don't care. Right?
Come at a high price. Or not
That's
price,
my point.
but-
You're a top 4 pick.
That's right.
You need, every time he gets put into the seniors, he's either a sub, and when he comes on, he doesn't get near it,
Yep.
or he's playing a full game and gets 6 possessions and kicks a goal. That's not enough, mate. You can't be a top 4 pick. North have invested a lot, and this is what you come back, and now you're upset because you're not getting a look in. Well,
Would you trade him?
you seriously have to think about it. Well, he can't, mate, Cooper Harvey, I keep bringing this bloke up. He gets his 21 touches, 25 touches. He can't get a look in. Why is he any better than why is he any worse off than Dersma?
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
That's exactly right.
So you know what? You're unhappy with the club. Don't worry, buddy.
well,
go
we
on.
don't know the actual, it's just popped up, but
And if that's the case, he can go with his brother, and we can get something good for him.
that's right. Just quickly, the VFL got beat by 10 goals, but it was Box Hill, top of the ladder.
Doesn't matter.
Best side in the comp. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, mate.
We
I'm
want,
over
to,
it.
we want to play some sort of finals.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so next week, Bulldogs, Thursday night, 100-year celebration.
Big-
What are you expecting, and what don't you want to see, and what you want to see?
I'm going to say this. Please do not embarrass yourselves in front of legends of this football club. When I say legends, I mean Glenn Archer, Steve-O. I don't know if Wayne Carey's going. You know, I
think so.
Malcolm Blight. We're going back, you know, to yesteryear. There's some legends at that football club, right? Please have a crack. Do not lose by the margin that it's celebration. Please don't lose by 100 points.
It can happen.
It will be a disaster.
Okay, so you
No, no.
don't want them to, embarrass themselves. What do you think will happen then?
Like I said in our ankle sore preview, it'll be 10 goals plus, and I'm afraid for him because your Darcy. I can't even bring up these blokes.
Norton up forward.
You can keep going. Fraser there in
Who's
the middle.
going to stop Fraser through the
Ed
middle?
Richards.
Richards.
Please, I'm begging you, just for.
Just we don't want to bring out any frames and candles for anyone. Okay, we don't want saviours like on the other club corner.
No, we don't
But
want
it's
any-
getting close.
It's getting close. It's getting. No. What are you afraid for this week?
Oh yeah, they'll get comprehensively beat. The Dogs are very good, and I said that in our preview that the Dogs are very good at beating the bottom half sides. And when I say very good at beating them, magnitude of margins. They're just big winners. over
Let's
these.
see.
And so this is no different.
Let's
I don't
see.
think. There you have it. Another episode of North Club Corner in the books. We love reading your comments, and we'll reply to all of you. We'll see you in the next one.